Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of a 13-year-old Bianca Noel Piper who disappeared on March 10th of 2005 from Foley, Missouri. So Bianca was also born in Foley, Missouri on December 26th of 1991, and she was hospitalized during her childhood several times due to suffering from ADHD and severe bipolar disorder, which also meant that she required daily medications to prevent disorientation and hallucinations. She was in special education classes due to her short attention span and repeated absences. She also went to therapy, and her therapist had previously recommended that her mother, Shannon Tanner, drive her a certain distance from her home and have her walk back on her own, giving Bianca time to deal with her own aggressions. Now, on the day of the disappearance, March 10th, that evening, Bianca and her mother had a dispute over doing the dishes. And even though it was snowing that night, she found the activity her therapist had recommended to be helpful, and she requested that it be done again, asking her mother to drop her off even further this time. She was last seen at 6:15 p.m. that evening when her mother dropped her off at McIntosh Hill Road, about a mile from their home. She was wearing a lime green blouse, a gray Adidas hooded sweatshirt, blue jeans, and white tennis sneakers, and she also had a flashlight. Several hours later, when she still had not returned home, her mother reported her missing at 8:20 p.m. Now, initially they believed that she had just gotten lost, and an extensive search was held, after which the authorities came to believe that she may have been abducted. She had no prior history of running away from home. Her mother passed the polygraph test, as did her mother's live-in boyfriend. Her biological father was also extensively interviewed, and none of her family is considered a suspect in her disappearance. A task force was started in 2007 to investigate Michael J. Devlin for possible connections to her disappearance, as well as those of other children between 1988 and 1991. After two missing teenagers, Sean Hornbeck and Ben Ownby, were discovered in Devlin's residence. Hornbeck had been abducted in Beaufort in 2002, while Ownby was abducted in 2007 in Richwoods. But the task force was later dissolved in October 2007 when no evidence of Devlin's involvement in Bianca's disappearance was discovered. Also on February 3rd of 2023, a septic tank near where she was last seen was drained, and the Sheriff's Department of Lincoln County is working with Overton Labs, a forensic genealogy company, in an effort to solve her case. Now, it doesn't actually say too much about the septic tank here, but I'm guessing they suspect that she may have been in there. They reference that they're working with a forensic genealogy company, but it doesn't say anything was found in the septic tank that may have been her remains or anything like that. Another interesting fact that it says here is that in September 2014, Piper's sister, 24-year-old Tiffany Piper, was sentenced to 8 years in prison for trafficking two suburban high school girls in June of 2012. According to a prosecutor, Tiffany was initially a victim of human trafficking herself. Now, it doesn't say if they suspect that she may have had something to do with the disappearance of her younger sister, or if this victimization of human trafficking of herself came afterwards. Basically, that's where the story ends on the page here. So as of today, the Amber Alert for Bianca remains active and the case remains unsolved. And that is why I was asked to do a reading on the case. We're going to do that starting with the Urban deck, which is already on the table. And for any further questions, moving on to the Modern Witch Tarot, which is this one. So as per usual, I'm going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got here. We're starting off with the Eight of Pentacles, followed by the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So this strikes me as somebody who is possibly experienced in a sense of robbing people or something, trying to get something from others that is not theirs, etc. And I feel like these cards immediately are talking about the person who attacked her, I guess we could say. I don't know exactly if it was an attack, but at least it was an attempt at perhaps parting her with whatever valuables they thought that she might have had on her. At least we're seeing somebody who's well practiced and methodical, possibly also able to manipulate with their words, and then ultimately either trying to get something from her or realizing that perhaps she has nothing for them to take. Now, when the next card popped up, the Ten of Wands over there, the first thing that came to mind was perhaps they are somebody who has only just, or had at the time, only just been released, because it's very much a prison card, as you can see. It's in reverse though, so maybe they were just sprung from jail. Because of course, combined with this Eight of Pentacles, which also shows somebody who's well practiced, this combination, we think that perhaps it's somebody who is likely to do that again, has done it before, that type of thing. So that's perhaps what their mode is, what they usually do in order to get by, whatever it is. So somebody who is not new to that game. Then we have two pages, the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Page of Cups, or in this case Princess of Cups in this deck, called the costume designer, so somebody who is fairly good at making something out of nothing or seemingly nothing. They may literally have fabricated some type of a lie or an excuse or something that would, I guess, lose her, whatever it is that they thought they could gain from her. I'm trying to look at this over here. This looks like some type of like a sweet potato or something that they put in a glass of water. Not sure if that's like a common thing to do in kindergarten, because this is the kindergarten teacher, like maybe to teach them about life or something. Also, this card really has the vibe of somebody who's just starting in life. Well, these are of course not the kids themselves, but somebody who is new, young, vibrant still. She of course was still very young, so maybe they were looking at her in that sense, like, okay, if I can't get any money, maybe there's something else I can get. So we're heading in the territory of something really disturbing there. Like, it seems they were thinking on their feet, like what they could potentially get out of the situation now that she doesn't have any money to give, so to speak, that type of thing. Then we end up on the second row and we have the Six of Swords in reverse. Six of Swords is normally taking somebody to another location, or letting the universe or your thoughts carry you where they might carry, rather. Snake is pretty omnipresent on this card, so there may have been a snake in the grass with that. The words that they're speaking lies that will also come to bite them afterwards. And then we have a new idea with the Ace of Swords, which I think is also leading to taking her places where she doesn't want to go. The Six of Swords tends to talk about taking us places where we don't want to go, and the Two of Wands is usually like a planning to go somewhere type of thing. And combined with these other two right here, I think this is definitely taking her to another location. Nine of Swords in reverse, the card itself is called Cruelty over there. Normally it is somebody worrying about something like anxiety that pops up overnight, but it's right next to a Tower and a Three of Swords, which is called Sorrow. And it is a very nasty looking card. Like, a lot of bad things are happening over here. Combined with these two, this does not bode well at all. I am feeling like this may be a very quick end, so to speak. Like, it looks as though she ran into somebody who wanted something from her. She couldn't deliver because obviously didn't really have anything on her other than flashlight, I believe. And then they were like, okay, what else can I do with you? They came up with a very quick plan. And that was, of course, not something that she would have liked. Taking her to another location under a guise or a lie. And then we have this over here. Like, there is a lot of cruelty here. There is sorrow at the end. The tower over there. Normally a very quick or sudden event, I should say. So I really feel like she came to a very quick end. If you look at these cards, because it looks as though there is not much time wasted on maybe taking her to further locations or keeping her around somewhere for a day. Like somebody over here. In these cards, they are well practiced, I would say. Has probably already been arrested once, or perhaps moving through the area. And now that I say that, the thought of truckers just kind of popped in my head. Now, I don't know what the area there looks like, or if trucks are like a common thing in that area. The trucks drive everywhere, obviously, but maybe there's like a certain route where trucks tend to drive past or something, or maybe she has to walk past a stop or another type of gas station on our way home. I don't know the area at all. But since trucker popped in my head, there may have been somebody who at the very least it has a job or had at the time where they go around and they're not in the same place for very long. Like they're maybe on the road and therefore they also cannot really afford to keep somebody around for a very long time. But they do have ample opportunity to dump somebody and then move on. And very few people having seen them to begin with. But I'm definitely seeing that we are looking at a very quick end here for her. A very quick, cruel end right here. Well, let's draw a few cards to see if there's anything else here to her story in any case. That may have gone past this point. Was there anything else past this point? Or are we going to get more confirmation of this right here? This is the Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so we're focusing on our own emotions and we don't really care about anybody else. So this does seem like a very self-centered person. And they may not have really considered her emotions at all, which is likely if they are this type of person, then they probably don't really care too much about other people. So this may be somebody who doesn't really regularly consider other people's feelings, wants, needs, and that type of thing. So this may be a very cold-blooded person. I think we're heading into a description of the person who did this. Okay, so I think we should go for what this person then, this perpetrator, did after, potentially leading up to today. And then we can go back to the Urban Tarot deck to see if we're ever going to find anything of her. But let's first take a look what we got on this person. All right, so they may actually have people that work with them, or at least worked with them at the time. Maybe somebody was instructed by them, or they may have had a group of people like this. It looks like some type of art teacher and art student and somebody who is posing. That's what's on the card anyway. I'm not sure which position our perpetrator is in, if they had somebody talking to them, telling them what to do, like perhaps where to leave certain items afterwards so that they won't actually get suspicious, other people. And perhaps they were instructing somebody else, or there's just this group that they tend to talk to that have the same type of interests or same type of lifestyle that they get information from. Because next we have an Ace of Cups here, which is like a new connection. Maybe they actually found somebody with a similar type of mindset, which is interesting. So perhaps through cooperating with people, they may have actually encountered somebody who wants to help and who has like a similar interest, shall we say, without getting into too many details. And then we have the Hermit in reverse and the Six of Swords again. So I'm thinking that this is just them continuing on doing the same thing that they've been doing the entire time. and not think anything of it, because the Hermit in reverse is basically avoiding any sort of deep thought about what the motives are, or what the point of it is, what these people perhaps were thinking, or anything like that. They don't meditate on their actions, none of that. We just keep on doing our same thing. We're straight into the next one. And since I'm guided to look at the distant shore over there, I think that also means that this went on for some time. So this person may be going around, or was at least at the time, don't know if they're still around, repeatedly victimizing people, and probably continue to do so for a very long time, and perhaps never having been caught. But let's take a look if we can get any cards about that. Like, were they able to continue this, or were they eventually stopped? Let's take a look at a couple of cards that fell down here. Page of Wands, all right, and a Queen of Swords. Okay, Page of Wands is somebody who tends to just act without thinking, but they do have a very manipulative and calculated manner about them. So it could be that they have a tendency to act rashly, but they are also able to talk themselves out of it as well. Or maybe they're so calculated that it really doesn't matter how rash they are. There are certain things that they'll always do in order to avoid detection, avoid getting caught, that type of thing. They may also be very charming, but charming in a very cold way, I think, because even though this queen looks very well put together and she appears to be beautiful and all that sort of thing, she is very much mind over matter, I feel, and therefore most of it is a manipulation tactic. Almost like she's daring people to come closer so that she can cut them with the sword. That's why she got the hand sticking out and dressed rather provocatively, I would say. I don't know exactly what's on the bottom part of this dress, but it looks as though most of it is kind of sheer. So she may have, or she or he, whoever this is, may likely tempt people and just draw them in and then take advantage of them like that. And I felt compelled to put them in the middle because I think that this is what we're going to get on the perpetrator. So what we should do now is grab the Urban Tarot deck and see if we're ever going to find out what happened to Bianca. And if we're ever going to find anything of her, find any clues, are we going to get any type of resolution to this story. And then immediately we're back with the Queen of Swords, which is the one we just had. But the Queen of Swords here appears a bit more pensive. The sword is resting in a cup filled with water. That's interesting. So maybe they do appear to be older than this one over here. So perhaps they've gotten a little older. And as they've gotten older, they've become a little bit more thoughtful. I mean, it says Queen of Swords, but I'm seeing cups of water everywhere, and they've got a paintbrush in their hand. They're surrounded by diamonds. There's diamonds around her neck, there's diamonds on her crown, there's a diamond on top of the sword. Maybe they have gathered some wealth over the years, and now they just kind of do whatever they want in their later years, and now they're sitting there thinking about the future, and that beam of light that their head is in gives me the impression that they've somehow changed their mindset. They may now be looking to the future, perhaps looking to what will happen after I leave this world. Am I going to be held accountable for all the things that I've done? Like maybe they are like looking to repent or something. So there may be something here of them considering coming clean or doing something. In any case, we have the moon here. So they may be emptying out their subconscious. Also wondering, by the way, they appear older, they're holding a paintbrush, and then you got the moon over here, which may be revealing things from a deep dark past. So either they are revealing things through the type of stuff that they do, like if they are indeed painting things, they may paint certain dark scenes that may give something away. Or what also came to mind just now is that perhaps they are in a retirement home, for instance, and since their mind is wandering, they're occasionally blurting things out without really being aware of what they're saying or what the consequences of what they're saying Could be like maybe they've got some type of Alzheimer's or something, or developing some type of Alzheimer's that's making them just kind of talk and say things that they normally would have kept hidden. Because if you're going to put a sword in water, eventually it's going to damage the sword. So that's also not a very smart place to put your metal objects for a prolonged period of time. So they may be a little confused, maybe losing the plot a little bit, getting stuck in their feelings as well. Because often when somebody has like dementia or Alzheimer's or something along those lines, their emotions become like more freely available. And since the Queen of Swords normally keeps her emotions under wraps, with this failing of the sharpness of the mind, that all that stuff they may have been suppressing might be coming to the surface over here with the moon. So maybe we're looking at somebody who's going to start talking because their mind is going and there's not much they can do to stop themselves from saying things that would give them away. Not that the person on the card looks that old, but it's just the impression that I'm getting. This one's on the floor, and these two are over here. Let's see, we've got, okay, death, all right. Art, which is justice, or temperance rather. And we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Okay, yeah, that does kind of look like an unraveling. They may have been confronted with the end of a chapter in their life, potentially their own end. Temperance, maybe they have tempered over time, again with the art theme. So maybe they are painting something that's going to give them away. In any case, we have here the Eight of Swords in reverse. Eight of Swords is normally like a certain mental entrapment that you keep yourself in. In reverse, though, I think it's either going to have warped them internally, or they're actually letting it go. Their mind may be unraveling. We're seeing static on the TV. Could be that their mind's getting duller and less clear on what it is that is right or real and wrong, truth or false, and that type of thing. And fact and fiction do appear to be kind of like fading in and out of each other, because the water on the painting over there appears to be coming out of the wall, and the wing appears to be popping out of the wall. This person appears to be having wings, so they may also just be seeing things that aren't real, perhaps reacting to that. And I do see a lot of unraveling here. This does look like that. So they may actually be confessing just because they don't even know who they are anymore, or at least they're losing that plot. Is anybody going to pick up on that, though? Because the people in the care home may hear a thing or two. Doesn't always mean that something's going to happen with that. Anyway, the Devil in reverse over here knocked the Queen of Swords out of the way. This may be the result of a repeated substance abuse as well, that may have made your mind wander. If you have certain chemicals that you are exposed to, smoking as well is really bad for your brain, so that may also have been a factor. In any case, some type of substance abuse maybe that is now coming home to roost, the result of that. This is the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, so we're also not doing things very practically, maybe also less capable of doing things correctly. We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, Queen of Pentacles in reverse tends to be failing to do like the job and keep the household running, that type of thing. Like people who try to balance things, keep too many different plates spinning. That tends to be a Queen of Pentacles in reverse as well. So maybe they're trying, or were trying, to keep everything going the way they're used to having things taken care of, but they just cannot do that. We have the Nine of Wands in reverse. The burden is becoming too much to bear. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse. We got nothing to wish for, and the sun is going down. So happiness is leaving, lightness is leaving. I think this is also them feeling approaching doom. Like when you first start to lose your mental faculties, there is a part of you, a big part of you, that is aware that's happening, right? So this may be the beginning stages of that, and eventually we're going to end up, like this may be the beginning stages, and this is what's going to eventually end up happening. They may be very much trying to keep control over things. They may be keeping lists in places because they notice that they're forgetting things, and they're trying to make it so that it is not apparent. But then after a while it becomes clear that it's not something they can stop or slow down, and then we are stuck over here with all these things coming out that they would otherwise have kept quiet. So I'm thinking that this person will eventually rat themselves out. Now, whether they're going to be believed and if people are going to do anything with this information, it doesn't actually say anything about that. So let's see if we can get a few more cards about that. Oops, that's a lot of cards, but okay, I said a few more. I'll grab you first. 8 of Wands. Okay, people may be slow to act. Like I said, people in the care home hear all sorts of weird things being said by their patients, or whoever is around them may be used to them saying weird things. So they will not initially spring into action, I feel. What are these cards saying? 4 of Wands. Okay, so there's some harmony that is broken here. But I do see the 2 of Cups here. All right, so somebody may be trying to keep the peace, even though it's very difficult with them, which is interesting. We have the Knight of Wands and the Fool in reverse. Knight of Wands charges ahead and does not take any chances over here with the Fool in reverse. Knight of Wands can be very quick to act, though, can be a little head over heels because they are charging off with that horse, and they may not have a clear goal, but at least they are in action. So I feel like as soon as whatever connection these people feel towards the perpetrator weakens too much, even though they're trying to balance things out, they may suddenly spring into action and no longer be fooled or cover things with the mantle of love here with the 2 of Cups. So when they are well and truly convinced that it's not just weird stories that this person is telling, there's like actually some truth to it, and they can bring themselves to go, okay, well, I know that this is going to break some harmony somewhere, or it's going to ruffle some feathers. I do need to act on this. I need to act on it fast. Maybe they need to act on it fast because this may be happening around the time that this person may be about to leave the planet. Like they may at some point think, oh, well, this person's elderly, should we really go ahead and bring up the past and stuff like that? But then ultimately they may decide to do it anyway. And perhaps at that point we're going to find out more about this person and what exactly happened to Bianca Noel Piper. So that is what I'm seeing for Bianca Noel Piper. I hope you found that interesting. Make sure to leave a comment. That helps the channel along. If you want to subscribe, that's even better. Much appreciated. In any case, hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.